Good morning, or should I say good afternoon. Kind of wanted to check in and give you an update. It's pretty bright outside. It's also not quite the golden hour, so lighting is difficult to come by, to say the very least. And I wasn't necessarily in the mood to do a car update, so I thought I'd bring us somewhere specials. Is that the Monroe or the Madonna? I don't know. Pretty sure Madonna. Have to do homework. So with this video art, I wanted to go ahead and I suppose give an update or do a new energetic exchange, you could say. I wanted to point out how almost everything the eye sees is an illusion. And what I'm angling at is basically something that I kind of explain to my clients whenever I do intuitive tarot readings at Wolf's Museum of Mystery. How I state how no one ever thinks about what I call straight up the shit end of the stick. Like, everybody thinks like, oh my god, if I just had so much money I would be so happy, when really, like, if you had money you don't really know who your friends are. Or, oh my god, I want to be famous and well known like Kim Kardashian, but then everyone's making fun of you, no one really knows who you are, they only know the front facade, you know, the outward appearance. So, and again, you don't know who your friends are, who's just like using you for your public image kind of thing. So there's always shadow of things that come with things, and straight up, like, most people, and including myself, I don't necessarily always let people know when I'm suffering or if I'm in a moment of complete self-destruction. You know, it's not something that we really go publicly on blast and telling people, where we're creating self-control so we don't basically off ourselves or any type of things like that. And it's also known that that's not really something that we're allowed to say. We're instantly encouraged to go to the suicide hotline instead of being able to tell our friends or to tell anyone, you know, the normal human thoughts that we experience as we go through a transition of depression and unhappiness or whatever things that we're kind of going through in our life. I wanted to also give some praise because I have received some amazing commentary from people that haven't really ever spoke up before, or just some people that have just showed a whole new side of themselves that I didn't really even know. And it's also enlightening to see how you are seeing me, if that makes sense, by you portraying me back to me, if that makes sense. It's kind of a difficult exchange. And now there is someone I would really, really love to give some hype to, you guys. I'm so heavily touched. I'm gonna go and do a name drop and a plug and everything. You guys, Benjamin Fransham, aka Peter, if I'm even saying that right, from What We Do in the Shadows. I had the luxury of meeting the gentleman in Orlando at Spooky Empire, and oh my goodness, the intellectual capability of this human being. I was touched. I was reached out yesterday when I was in a rough spot, and Ben gave me a shout out and just checked in, and it was such a humanitarian move. And he also enlightened me and gave me like a lot of different things to think about, and he supplied a lot of words to things that I struggle to give words to. And straight up, he's a father. And Ben, if you're watching this now, I gotta give you props, man. I mean, it's just so amazing, and I'm just touched. I feel like the father energy was kind of like one of those flame things that's like passed down or whatever, like the torch is passed kind of thing. Like, he really gave me a lot of motivation to keep going, especially pursuing the acting career. And more so, you gave me a lot of comfortability about me being more transparent. And also those of you who have left the commentary, you know, by me sharing my vulnerability with you, and the vulnerability you gave back to me was just super empowering. And I'm bouncing back the best that I possibly can, you know, and still single, still dealing with multitudes of different people, from submissives to fans to just people who just are kind of passing through my life, you know. For me, you know, when I think about if there's no need for money, right? If I don't have to work, what I really want to do is I love helping people. And I'm huge on spiritual stuff. So like if I could be almost maybe a motivational speaker, or if I can bring people towards a path of spirituality. You know, something amazing that happened to me, that's been happening to me a lot lately. And you know, mind you, not smoking weed or anything, and still being able to have these experiences is completely mind-blowing. So the past 2 days I've had some super intense remote viewing experiences where I'm able to tap into energy of other people, particularly a married couple, and helping them, and or just seeing that what I'm feeling and what I'm sensing to be legitimate, you know, without being on drugs or just like, it's, for me, that's just fascinating. It just, and the person said to me how I basically give them hope that there is a heaven and hell and God, or basically because of, it's just, I mean, like there's no words to explain other than my gifts for them to speak for themselves. And you know, it's not necessarily something that I can turn on or turn off. Like sometimes either the information comes through or it doesn't, or sometimes a person can say that they're completely open and transparent. However, I can't tap into the energy unless the subconscious mind kind of lets me in as well. A lot of times people have barriers up, and it's really hard to get in to them and to work with that energetic exchange. It's very obvious that I'm a light worker and that's what I'm meant to do. However, again, like I'm a jack of all trades, or princess of all trades, whatever you want to call me. I mean, there's a lot of things I've done, and I mean, I could make a list. I juggle, fire eating and breathing, mermaid, underwater stunts, wrestling, psychic intuitive, remote viewer, passionate traveler, YouTuber, diver. I don't know, I have like a long list, so I'm not trying to like really stroke my ego or really fully be transparent who I am. At the same time, I do attempt to do that. However, at the same time, something that I brought up yesterday is like a lot of times it's really, really hard to figure out who you are. That's like a huge thing right now. Like, how do I figure out what I want? And if it has nothing to do with money. A huge thing that I find, the word that comes to mind is definitely servitude. I need to feel useful, and I need to feel, I'm huge on feeling needed. Like, I'm a soldier at soul. I'm not interested in necessarily participating on the war on drugs or like for the governmental services, although I am kind of confident that I could totally go through the extreme training and experiences. However, at the same time, I don't really want the psychological damages of killing people, but at the same time, like, I have a warrior soul. I know I could do that. At the same time, it's not really something I choose to do. I would like to use my energy and my vital life source for something more serious. The vital life source thing is also something that's very huge in recent events, mainly last month, and all of the readings. Like, a lot of people don't realize how they're spending their vital life force, and you could call this your chi, your energy, your life. The way that I try to explain it to people is, let's say you have $10 a day to spend. But instead of it being money, imagine it being like a video game, and like this is your life. But if you get angry, you spend $2. If you get sad, you spend $5, you know? but then like it's also cool because you can build a threshold, because if you don't spend any dollars today, you know, it rolls over to tomorrow and you kind of have $20 to spend. Like you can help this person. It's really hard to explain on an energetic level of exactly what's going on. And mind you, something else that I deal with is like a lot of times I can feel things and I don't really know where they come from or what they mean. And sometimes I have to ask myself, is this emotion mine? Or just like certain things will come over me, like someone can think about me or somebody can watch a video or just things can happen and I can feel it. No matter where you are in the world, I can feel it. And I channel. Like if you connect with me on an instant messaging services, like I can literally, I can feel things out, I can see things. It's kind of a really weird thing, to be honest, and it's kind of scary, but at the same time, I would love a way that I could be of use, like using that where there's something that I can do to help people, but at the same time, like I'm not trying to change fates kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not here to help you win the lottery. I'm not here to help you cheat and steal or whatever. I'm kind of am for a larger agenda, which I'm actually coming to recognize. Or should I say be reminded of. I've always known that my duty is something on a global scale on some aspects. However, connecting with Benjamin Franklin, he made very clear something we both have very common in one another is our humanitarianism, and how we both would rather use our followers and our energy and our life experiences to help. It's more about a global scale, you know. It's about saving more lives and bringing people together, not about hating on gays or abortions or politics. It's just like we're all people, and it's all about appreciating the human condition, the human experience, and not shaming one another and not self-destructing. Self-destruction is definitely a huge thing I would love to cover on perhaps another time. I mean, I could go multitudes of levels. I am definitely, truthfully, a human being who has been self-destructive, and my personal outlet was self-mutilation or cutting, aka bloodletting, which is something that I actually found out about as I grew older on the spiritual practices of the bloodletting and all the things that it goes back with cultural references and the release. And I've mentioned that before, how that's kind of how I got into professional wrestling, because being in the ring gave me the same adrenaline rush feelings and kind of gave me an escape. I'd never really did it for the crowd. As a matter of fact, every time I've been presented with the crowd, I've kind of gone Stone Cold Steve Austin, someone told me. I guess apparently he too used to go completely deaf whenever you step into the ring. I just kind of black out. I don't really know what happens. But I do love being in the ring. I love wrestling itself. I'm very sensitive, so I pick up energy insane. So like the last time I had a match, you can only imagine all the energetic exchange that I was experiencing as I was fighting Machiko. So that goes into that. Other than all of that sensitivity or whatever, I've basically been up since a little bit before 9. I try to stay in my dreams a little bit more because it was about crystals, and I was just trying to get some more information, and I always turn to my dreams to get more information. My dreams haven't really been giving me as much information as I'd like lately, so I'm definitely attempting to play with that a little bit more, you know, taking different teas and mugwort and essential oils and just trying to work with multiple different things that kind of give me more astral projection or stuff like that. I was just channeling something. Oh, okay, so yeah, this morning I had to take my car to Honda, you guys. Apparently there was a recall for my airbags, that there was a defect, so it was a free repair. And then basically while I was there, they basically came up with nearly $2,000 in repairs that my car needs as well. Some things aren't as necessary, however, there are some things I'm definitely going to have to take care of. So that would maybe be a plug for you to go send tips on OnlyFans or to join OnlyFans, preferably the $99 per month account. There's a lot of other things I really want to talk about. I don't really want to make this all about money and wish lists and your spoiled brat character type stuff, right? Though at the same time, that's the most obvious, transparent way that you could actually obviously bring fruitful results to my life. Though at the same time, like the things that you guys have been doing, like verbally and just reaching out and just your actions, just all the things that you guys have been doing, it's It's so powering. I don't really have any other words. I definitely want to do another video. I don't really like to drown you guys in that stuff, but I might have to come back with a few more updates a little bit later. I have a dentist appointment at 3 o'clock. I love you.